I bought the DJI Mini 3 Pro when it first came out just over a year ago, and the question is, Terry, do you have any buyer's remorse, any regrets on owning this thing this long now? Hey, let's get into it. What's up, y'all? Tight Shirt Terry Warford, and I'm back for another video. Hope you're having a fantastic day so far. Hey, remember to be thankful for your life today because you did not have to have that. Before we talk about the Mini 3 Pro, I gotta let y'all know that I don't script videos, so this is completely off the top of the head. It's very possible I might mess some things up or say some stuff wrong. So if I do, then I just do, okay? Now, for those of you who don't know what the DJI Mini 3 Pro is, I mean, you should if you clicked on this video, but I'll let you know, okay? This is DJI's smallest pro drone, right? Now, there's also a standard Mini 3, which is the non-pro version. We'll talk about that in a second. This thing only weighs 249 grams with the battery inside of it. So you can transport this to pretty much anywhere. It can fit in the pants pocket. It's super tiny. It's super lightweight. It has fantastic image quality. It can film up to 4K 60 in 10-bit when it comes to video. It can take 48 megapixel photos. It's got literally fantastic battery life. About 40 minutes with the standard battery. You can get about 48 minutes, give or take a few minutes with the enhanced battery. It can shoot vertical video. It's got tri-directional obstacle avoidance. It's got O3 image transmission, so it can literally send the image feed to the DJI RC controller if you pick this amazing controller over the course of a few miles, and it only costs right around 700 bucks for the drone by itself. Now, you can get different packages with different remotes and fly more combos and all of that jazz if you want to. You can go on DJI's website and look at all of that stuff yourself, but this is literally a fantastic drone, and I spent my hard-earned money on it because that's how bad I wanted it. I really want to give a few claps to DJI because they have updated the Mini 3 Pro so many times. They've given it new firmware versions and enabled new features so many times since its launch. It has really become a fantastic little drone. It has things that even the bigger Mavic 3 Pro, a professional drone, doesn't have. So like the ability to tweak your noise reduction, the ability to tweak your sharpening. It has real tripod mode and all that stuff. And I'm sure the Mavic 3 Pro will get that eventually. But my point is, it is truly remarkable what DJI has done when it comes to firmware updates with the Mini 3 Pro. Now, since I have the Mini 3 right here, the main differences are the Mini 3 does not have obstacle avoidance. It doesn't have onboard storage. The Mini 3 Pro has 8 gigabytes of onboard storage. This one doesn't. This one only shoots up to 4K 30, and it's missing a whole lot of other little software stuff, but it is cheaper. So if you want a fantastic drone that can still flip in a vertical mode and shoot 4K video and all that stuff, the DJI Mini 3 is there for you also, but I would really recommend spend an extra 200 bucks to just get the Mini 3 Pro. With that being said, I took both of these drones on a recent trip to Iceland, and if you want to check out my motivational video from that video, there's more video coming from that trip. That is right up there. And I took them both and I used them both. And this is a perfect opportunity to segue into things I dislike about the Mini 3 Pro before we talk about all the fantastic stuff. The first thing is pay attention to the size of both of these drones. Now, you may not realize how small the Mini 3 Pro is until you put it next to a regular size drone like the Mavic 3. It is really a tiny, tiny little drone. And because of that, because of the weight restriction of 249 grams, it does feel very cheap. It is very plasticky feeling, especially compared to a premium drone like the Mavic 3, and also because it's so small, it just doesn't handle high winds that well. There were so many times in Iceland, which if y'all have never been to Iceland, some of the winds there are literally ridiculous, that I was scared with the Mini 3 Pro. I was scared to fly it because fear of it flying away. Now, don't get it twisted. The Mavic 3 Pro will struggle in higher winds, right? But I just had way more peace of mind with the bigger drone. It didn't flop around as much. I didn't get that many high wind warnings with the bigger drone like I did with the Mini 3 Pro. So because it's so small, in the footage, you can also see a lot of shifting around in the wind, especially if you're close to objects. I mean, literally, you can see the gimbal getting whipped around, and you can also see the drone being whipped around in higher winds. So if that is something that you do on a regular basis, travel to places that have a lot of wind, you definitely need to think about, is this the drone for you? Because it don't handle that well in higher winds. This is Editor Terry, and I think I need to put a little bit more respect on the Mini 3 Pro than I did when I was filming it, because at the end of the day, I didn't lose the Mini 3 Pro. There were a few sketchy times where I did have to flip it into sport mode to cut through the wind, where I'm like, oh my Lord, am I gonna get this drone back? But it made it back. So that should be a testament of how strong this thing is to be so tiny. I just wouldn't recommend flying in sketchy situations like I did, because if you lose your freaking Mini 3 Pro, it ain't my fault. One of the other things I really dislike about it, and we'll talk about battery life in 1 second, but most DJI drones have indicators on the battery to tell you how much juice they have left. Well, the Mini 3 Pro batteries do not have that because they need to be so tiny. So to get a battery level, you have to put it inside the drone. If I put it in there the right freaking way, then you press the indicator on the Mini 3 Pro, and this battery is completely zapped. The last big thing about the Mini 3 Pro is that sometimes it is prone to overheating because there's no built-in fan. So not in flight, but while you're updating the firmware and the drone is just sitting still, mine has overheated on me a few times. So that's also something that you need to be mindful of. And it's something really petty that's not really a big deal. Where the SD card sits really annoys me. And this is where it sits on a lot of other DJI drones, but other DJI drones like the Mavic 3 Pro have a battery door to prevent the memory card from popping out when you press it in for it to eject, and this one doesn't. There's so many times that I've lost the memory card because it got chucked across the room ejecting it. A lot of you guys have recommended to use the little tab on this to help out, but neither here nor there. It's just a problem I don't want to deal with. So now that we got the bad stuff out the way, let's talk about the good stuff with the Mini 3 Pro, because there's a lot of freaking good stuff with the Mini 3 Pro. First of all, since we just got done talking about batteries, the battery life on the Mini 3 Pro is fantastic. With the standard battery, you can get about 38 minutes of flight time. If you get the plus batteries, which are physically the same size, they're just denser, those can give you about 46 to 47 minutes of flight time. However, they do push the gram over 249 grams. Now, if you get a Fly More combo, you can also get this charging bay right here, and this can sit 3 batteries in there, regular or plus batteries, and this does double, like all of other DJI's charging apparatuses, as a power bank. So you can plug a USB cable in there and charge other devices with it, or you could check the levels of all 3 batteries by pressing one button. And as you see, all of these batteries are freaking dead because I haven't charged them since I've come back from Iceland. The other thing I really like about the Mini 3 Pro is it has obstacle avoidance and active track. So you usually don't get obstacle avoidance and active track unless you go with one of the bigger drones. Well, the Mini 3 Pro has both. Now, it's only tri-directional, so it doesn't give you side-to-side obstacle avoidance. So if you do use active track or any of the smart modes, you will have to be mindful because this thing will smack into something if you're flying sideways. Just keep that in mind. But I do love how it has active track, and active track also works in vertical mode. And since we're talking about vertical mode, the gimbal can switch to portrait, which is great for people who film short form content, vertical content for TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts. And that is really game changing because typically you have to film in landscape and then take a center crop, a 9:16 crop, which effectively lowers the resolution. Well, this one you could just flip the gimbal into portrait mode and you still can film in full 4K, which is fantastic. Yo, the image quality out of the Mini 3 Pro, is it as good as the Mavic Air 2S or the Mavic 3? No, but it is so good that most people will not be able to tell the difference. The colors are vibrant, it's 10-bit footage, so it has a ton of latitude when it comes to color grading. Again, you can customize the noise profile and the sharpening profile on this drone. And for most people, the image quality out of the Mini 3 Pro, whether it's photos or video, is more than enough than you'll ever need. Also, we need to bring back the RC controller. The fact that you could buy these together for under $1,000 is crazy. The RC controller really takes the flying experience with all DJI drones. If you don't have an RC Pro, like, it is really a good experience, and I highly recommend that you buy it over the standard controller. Don't buy the standard controller unless you need to do like photogrammetry or stuff like that. Buy the RC controller. It really complements the Mini 3 Pro well. And overall, I just need to reiterate again that it's a 249 gram freaking package. It can shoot up to 4K 60, 10-bit, 48 megapixel photos. It's got obstacle avoidance. It's got great battery life. Use the DJI RC controller. And there's not too many cons besides the performance in higher winds. I didn't mention this earlier, but there's no spotlight or floodlight on the bottom or LED light like there is on the bigger drones, and it does feel kind of cheap and plasticky. But aside from those things, it is really hard to argue with the Mini 3 Pro, especially after all of its firmware updates. So the question is, Terry, do you have any, and I'm losing my voice, my bad. Do you have any regrets? Do you have any like negative feelings about owning the Mini 3 Pro a year later, and my answer is absolutely no. This is my drone of choice whenever I choose to travel. As long as it's not the places with crazy wind, then I take bigger drones. But if I'm not traveling to some place like that, the Mini 3 Pro packs down to such a small kit, and it is so freaking capable when it comes to image quality, all of the stuff that it can do. Buy one. Thank me later. Use the links down there to support the channel, but buy one. Go ahead, you will not regret it. This drone is fantastic, and for most people, you won't need another drone for a few years. So anyways, I'm losing my voice. Like I said, I gotta get out of here. I got stuff to do. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Till next time, I'm out of here. Tight shirt, Terry Warfield. Piece of chicken grease, I'm out. Bye.